We've all had our fair share of childhood blunders, haven't we? Granted, you probably didn't end up wedged in an exhaust pipe like this little guy. It took a few people working together to free the pup. But credit to him for keeping his cool during the rescue. Thanks to their patience, they were able to pull the pup out in no time. Let's hope he learns from this and avoids similar situations in the future.
Jura, Jenna, ga. Georgie. Georgie. Jenna, ga. Jenna, Jenna, روكو ده خربيشو.
The joy of reuniting after 3 years apart sounds like this. The dog had gone missing, and the owner had been searching for him for a long time. There was a point when hope for a reunion was nearly lost, but then someone mentioned seeing a dog fitting the description in the city. Of course, he went to check right away, and after a long wait, he finally saw his dog. I'm sure everyone who witnessed this touching moment was moved to tears. A man spotted a lone kitten on the road and instantly decided to take it home. But when he stepped out of the car, he got quite a surprise.
Someone just, oh no, it's a whole, oh my gosh, I can't take you all. Oh my gosh. Oh.
While searching through the tall grass, the man discovered 12 more kittens hiding there. It seemed like a well-orchestrated plan.
Oh my God.
Naturally, he couldn't just leave the helpless creatures behind, so he took them all. Soon, most of the kittens found new homes with other families, but the man decided to keep 2 for himself. In the end, he saved more than a dozen lives. Good job. Quite an unusual scene, right? Actually, the penguin decided to jump into the boat with the photographers while fleeing from a leopard seal, and it was a smart move. People were so impressed by its trust that they decided to give it a ride to its friends. It was a remarkable situation where everyone got lucky. The photographers got a unique experience and great shots, while the penguin safely reunited with its buddies.
Bye. Thank you.
This touching video captures a moment where a human and an animal join forces to rescue a puppy. The little one accidentally fell into a puddle that was much deeper than it seemed. His scared mother cried out for help, and a human came to the rescue, joining forces with her. They soon managed to pull him out, but the poor thing had spent so much time in the water that they had to perform CPR on him. Thankfully, the story has a happy ending. Just a few minutes later, the grateful mother was watching over a healthy baby. Proof that even the most ferocious predators can find themselves in trouble and need help from humans. This bear was clearly trying to find something to eat in a coffee can, but ended up getting stuck. When people saw the predator walking around with a can on its head, they immediately called animal control. Rescuers promptly responded to the calls of the concerned citizens and headed to the scene. Of course, it took a little tranquilizer to calm the bear down, but they managed to remove the can successfully and took the bear back into the depths of the forest. The bald eagle, a majestic predator, is usually one to steer clear of. But this time, walking away just wasn't an option. A man spotted the bird struggling in the water and literally reached out a helping hand. The eagle seemed stunned, both by the situation and the genuine kindness.
You're up, brother. You're okay, brother. I got you. That was wild. Show me your wings. Show me your wings.
It seems this giraffe misjudged the height of its jump and got its legs stuck on a fence. Unable to free itself, it needed some help. Thankfully, a group of men spotted the trapped animal and quickly came to its rescue.
She looks like she's broken her leg already.
The giraffe didn't stand in the way of its own rescue and didn't struggle much either. Yet, as soon as he got the opportunity, he bolted away, likely wanting to avoid another mishap and not wanting to take the guy's kindness for granted. Out of the blue, the homeowner caught a weird squeak echoing from the drain pipe. Listening closely, he realized that there was an animal stuck inside, crying out for help. Without hesitation, he got to work, opening up the drain pipe to save the poor thing. Turns out it was a tiny kitten. No one knows how the stray kitten found its way in there, but it surely found its new home.
Good job! Whew.
Every year, around 2,000 marine animals get stranded, and not all of them are lucky enough to be rescued. However, this baby whale was one of the lucky ones. A group of people spotted it on the shore and stepped in to help. It was a challenging mission, but they managed to get the whale back into the water, and it quickly swam away from the shore to find his mum.
Vai, bichinho. Só mais pouquinho que nós vamos te salvar. Conseguimos! Conseguimos! Ele vai embora!
When the men noticed a frozen puppy on the street, they quickly rushed to rescue the animal from the snowdrift. The dog was so deeply frozen in the snow that simply digging him out was no longer an option, so the men had to use an axe. The brave puppy patiently waited to be saved, probably feeling reassured that he wouldn't be abandoned in the cold. Good job, guys.
А что ему еще делать? Он пытался согреться.
Ага. Че это здесь, что? Там лапа, да? А, у него хвост. Все, пошли. Non!
Did you notice that?
Il y a un petit chat au milieu de la route. C'est une blague.
Even riding so fast, the biker managed to spot a tiny kitten right in the middle of the road. Turns out there was another alert and caring driver too. They both hurried to rescue the kitten, who seemed paralyzed with fear and unable to move. The little one might not realize it, but he was incredibly lucky that day.
Lulu.
You need to just hang on.
hang on to that. Can you do that?
While sloths can swim, it takes them quite a while. So, when people spotted one in the water, they decided to lend a hand and give it a ride.
Bájala, bájala, bájala. No se cae, no se cae. No se cae, no se cae. No se cae. Llévela. Dicen que es Superman. Superman.
Just think about how much time and effort the sloths save thanks to this water taxi.
He's waving to you. He says, oh, okay, this is looking familiar. Now.
Now, you shouldn't feel like a fish out of water. There you go.
Knowing how to administer first aid can come in handy in the most unexpected situations. Take this girl, for example, who managed to save a rabbit's life. She spotted the little creature in the water, and when she pulled it out, she realized the rabbit was in critical condition. Using an indirect heart massage, she managed to bring it back to life. It's clear her training paid off. Now she's got at least one saved life under her belt. When floods hit, stray animals often end up stranded. This dog attempted to flee but found itself in a situation where its only option was to sit tight and hope to be noticed. Luckily, its hopes weren't in vain. A group of volunteers paddling by in a boat happened to be looking for those in need of help. The dog was so scared that it hardly moved, so the volunteer had to make their way to the animal. Once in the boat, the dog was still in shock. It seemed like it couldn't believe that the worst was finally over. What should you do if you come across a tiny, abandoned baby squirrel all alone on the street? This guy did the right thing. He brought the little one home and took care of it until it was healthy. He even introduced the squirrel to his cat, who welcomed the new addition to the family with open paws. That poor squirrel, all alone on the road, could never have imagined such an act of kindness would come its way. The poor bird was so exhausted from the heat that it could only lie down and gasp desperately for air. Luckily, a kind soul came along and couldn't bear to see the bird suffering. He gave the bird some water and helped it recover. He stayed until he was certain the sparrow was all right. It's amazing how a few moments of care and compassion probably made all the difference, ultimately saving the bird's life. The baby elephant probably didn't expect to get into trouble when it decided to take a stroll through the mud. It tried to get out on its own, but ended up sinking even deeper. That's when the national park staff had to step in for a rescue mission. Luckily, it was a success, and the little one could go off to find its herd. During a strong storm and flooding, it might seem like people would only care about their own safety. But when they saw this scene, people realized they needed to help out. One of the men didn't let the weather scare him off. He jumped into the strong current to rescue a dog. By the way, that dog hit the jackpot. Not just getting saved from the disaster, but also finding a home. I bet the guy had no idea at that time that he was saving his future pet's life. A mum and her son were grabbing a bite when they suddenly spotted a stray dog scavenging for scraps on the street. The boy felt really sorry for the animal and got teary-eyed, deciding to help the poor pup out. He stepped outside and shared his food with the homeless dog. Major props to this little guy with a huge heart, and of course to his parents. At first glance, this looks quite funny, but the animal was clearly terrified. A raccoon tried to climb into the attic through a hole in the roof, but got stuck because the opening was too small. The homeowners called wildlife officers to rescue the animal. It will take some time, but the raccoon will eventually understand that humans were trying to help. This cute porcupine goes by the name Alfred, and he often visits this girl's place. One day she felt sorry for the little guy and decided to feed him. Since then, the porcupine keeps coming back to the porch, knowing there's a meal waiting for him. Alfred doesn't hesitate to visit because the girl has never left him hungry. The female polar bear had gone without food for a long time and was completely exhausted when she finally decided to venture into the city towards people. The locals could tell right away from the bear's appearance that she needed help. Soon, the wildlife conservation team took the animal to the Flora and Fauna Park. Just look at how much this majestic predator's life has changed. Can you recognize the exhausted animal from the photos? I bet she's already forgotten those lonely days scavenging for food in the dumps. And it's all because she put her trust in people, and it worked out. Short story about a scared hamster from the streets turning into a beloved pet. It's hard to imagine how much pain and fear this poor creature must have felt, but luckily a kind woman came to the rescue right away. Within moments, the kangaroo was gratefully hopping around its rescuer. This woman must have done something truly remarkable, maybe even saving his life. That's the only reason such a dangerous animal would show her so much affection. As she strolled along the beach, the girl spotted a crab struggling to find an empty shell in the water. Wanting to help out, she stepped in and eventually found the perfect new home for it. In a situation like this, most people would have simply walked by, hoping the bird would manage on its own. But this time was different. The girl couldn't ignore the call for help and pulled out the chick.
It's okay. We're gonna go up. There. Oh my goodness. Baby.
The tiny bird quickly understood it was out of harm's way and even relaxed in the girl's hands.
I tried to give him some water and I couldn't get him to drink it, so if anybody has any advice, please let me know. I don't know what to do.
Every once in a while, sailors end up doing things they didn't quite expect, like rescuing a cat that accidentally fell into the water from the dock. It took a team of 3 and even a bunch of cheering spectators to make it happen. The cat had no idea how many people were thrilled to see it rescued. Even a large and fearsome animal can remain calm when it feels cared for. There was this guy who used to come to the landfill often to feed the stray animals. One time, as he was there, he spotted a seagull that was trapped. As he got closer, he noticed a fishing hook stuck in the bird's beak. Without hesitation, he removed the hook, and the seagull seemed grateful for the help. It was lucky this kind-hearted soul was around. Trusting a creature much larger than yourself isn't easy, but it looks like the baby squirrel felt that it had stumbled upon very kind people. And it was right. Passers-by gave it water and helped the little animal quench its thirst on a scorching hot day. Not everyone can adopt a stray animal, but everyone can at least help make sure that they don't starve. For instance, this woman decided to feed stray animals with bread. She's a shining example of compassion and selflessness. Sometimes people don't have to tame wild animals. For example, this girl walked out of the shower and found a tiny raccoon in her house.
He's just domesticated himself.
The little one thought that she was its mum and immediately felt safe with her. An amazing story.
I can't keep you. I can't keep you.
This video alone shows that the girl's family is incredibly kind and has a profound love for animals. A whole herd of African buffaloes got stuck in the mud, unable to free themselves. Some of the animals couldn't even move. Luckily, this happened in a national park, which is routinely patrolled by park rangers. Usually, wild animals wouldn't welcome a meeting with humans, but this time they were truly pleased to get some much-needed help. During a big flood, volunteers were patrolling the area in a boat, looking for anyone who still needed help. In one house, they spotted a puppy trapped inside without a way out. The volunteers had to throw stones at the window to break the glass, and the plan worked. The puppy got out and immediately swam towards the people. I like to think that karma exists. Those guys deserve something good for their amazing life-saving operation. Getting out of that sticky mud would be a challenge even for a human, not to mention a scared animal. Thankfully, some kind-hearted workers with machinery were around and pulled the donkeys out. It only took the men a few minutes, but for the donkeys, it meant everything.
Unzip it, darling. Unzip it.
It's true that animals can sense people with good hearts. A deer accidentally got tangled up in the wires of the fence, and it couldn't get itself free. When this guy came to help, the deer got even more scared. It was really hard to rescue the deer because it kept resisting. But the guy didn't give up, and eventually managed to free the deer's antlers from the wires. On behalf of the deer, a big thanks for all your kindness and persistence, pal. It may seem like a small and easy thing to do, but holding an umbrella over a stray cat while it eats is actually a really kind gesture.